This is your Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, October the 2nd. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. Unlike our satellite image yesterday morning, we do have some clouds across the state of Alabama and across the southeastern U.S. But while we'll see some clouds, there will be a mix of sun and clouds today. So it's not going to be a really gloomy day for central Alabama. High pressure is the predominating feature that we see across the surface pattern over the eastern part of the country. Of course, that front that came through and helped to drop our temperatures and give us some fall tasting here has been nice. The upper low that moved into the middle Mississippi River Valley is beginning to make its way to the northeast and is expected to move up into New England later today and into Monday. And as it does, we'll see temperatures moderate. We're starting the day out just a little bit warmer than we were yesterday. I think the clouds are helping to provide a little bit of a blanket here. And most of the readings across central and north Alabama generally in the 50s. And not to say we still might see a couple of readings in the upper 40s. We are showing on radar a little bit of activity across parts of Mississippi and Louisiana. I think much of that is going to be aloft, so be watching for Virga in the sky today. The reason that I think that is because, as you can see from the sounding from the Shelby County Airport last night, we generally have a very big dry layer from a little above 800 millibars all the way up to nearly 300 millibars, so atmosphere is pretty dry. The watch warning map is not too busy. Most of the activity is over the Rocky Mountain area of western United States. The pink are high fire danger warnings. The brown are high wind warnings. And those purple areas are some winter weather advisories for the cold air that's up there. QPF, this for the next 5 days ending Friday morning. And you can see the band of rain expected along the eastern U.S. coast, the southeast U.S. coast specifically, while over much of the southeast we're going to stay dry, as it looks like we're going to stay dry, so it doesn't look like we're going to see much moisture. The Storm Prediction Center has a small marginal risk over the eastern part of Idaho for day one, and of course that's today. For Monday, the marginal risk shifts over into primarily the Dakotas, the western Dakotas, and parts of northwestern Nebraska. And then for day 3, we have an enhanced risk surrounded by a slight risk over parts of the southeast part of Nebraska, eastern half of Kansas, and the western half of Oklahoma. And in the tropics, things are still active. We still have Matthew. Matthew basically became nearly stationary yesterday, sort of drifting, and it looks like it has made that turn to the north. We also have another area of disturbed weather that is not likely to develop into anything over the next several days. Looking a little closer at Matthew, as I said, it looks like Matthew has begun to make that turn. Matthew is still Category 4. There are now hurricane warnings for a good portion of the eastern third of Cuba, for Jamaica, and for the western half of Hispaniola. And watches are in effect for the southern Bahamas. It looks like Matthew could come across that area a little further away from Jamaica than we were looking at yesterday and over the very eastern tip of Cuba, so it may retain its major hurricane status as it gets into the Bahamas. All right, let's take a look at the 060 GFS model run, and there goes our trough and our upper closed low as it moves over the eastern Great Lakes today. And we see that there's a little area of low pressure up there ahead of that. But otherwise, we're under basically high pressure over the southeastern U.S. The trough makes it up into New York and New England on Monday, but a little of the trough is hanging back, so we may see some clouds again on Monday. Tuesday, the trough's finally beginning to move out of here as the ridge gets a little bit stronger as it comes our way. And that still keeps us dry. And, of course, we're watching Matthew come across the very extreme eastern tip of Cuba on Tuesday. By Wednesday, we're now beginning to watch a trough develop off to our west, but it's a little bit far away yet to really impact us. So we basically stay dry. It begins to get closer on Thursday, and we see that a surface low is developing, and we'll be seeing a front with that system. In the meantime, Matthew is moving just offshore from the east coast of Florida. Friday, Matthew moves up very close to the Southeast U.S. coast, and that trough begins to come across the Mississippi, or at least approach the Mississippi River on Friday. The trough moves by the Mississippi River on Saturday, so that will be dragging a front across our area, but it does look like right now there's going to be a real lack of moisture, and it does look like Matthew could have some very serious impacts on the mid-Atlantic states and up into New England, as you can see from the GFS plot here. So lots of issues along the coast, from coastal flooding over the next several days into the end of the week, along with flash flooding, wind, just all kinds of issues up there. If you have any travel plans for the end of the week and into next weekend, they could be disrupted by that kind of weather. The weather begins to settle down a little bit on Sunday as the upper air pattern becomes pretty zonal for the southeastern and the southern part of the United States. Looking out into Voodoo country, we see another trough coming across the Mississippi River and the Central Plains states around the 11th of October. That's Tuesday. And that seems to set the stage for a rather broad trough over the eastern half of the country on Friday, October the 14th. But that doesn't last long. That would certainly be a rather cool pattern and bring us some much cooler weather our way. But on Monday, the 17th of October, we can see that the ridge is coming back, so the warm weather is not over just yet. That'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video for this morning. James Spann should have the next edition first thing on Monday morning. In the meantime, stay tuned to the blog for notes on Alabama's weather. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great day and Godspeed.